Mary Anne Spier narrated 28 books in the Babysitter's Club series. I gave 9 of her books a score of 7 out of 10 or higher. Here are my choices for the 9 best Mary Anne books of the entire series. Number 9, Mary Anne and the Little Princess. A British princess named Victoria Elizabeth Kent moves to town. Victoria is 29th in line to the throne. Considering that the person who's number 1 in line to the throne has been waiting for over 70 years now, there's no chance Victoria will ever become queen. There are plenty of fun and funny scenes where Victoria struggles to fit in with America, like she falls in love with trashy TV shows and malls. She's got a stuffy British nanny whose reaction to everything is to clutch her pearls and say, "My word, Americans are so improper." In the subplot, Mary Anne has problems with her scatterbrained stepmother, and there's a minor attempt to connect the story to Victoria's absentee parents. Some people didn't like the book because it's less of a cohesive story and more a bunch of random events centering around a kid. But you know what? A lot of the early books in the Babysitter's Club series were the same way, and I like this one. Number 8, Mary Anne's Makeover. Mary Anne wants to get a new haircut. Her friends joke about what a bad idea that is, but she kind of likes the idea of short hair. She gets the haircut and everyone loves it, except the Babysitter's Club. The BSC hates Mary Anne's new hairdo. How dare she go against their orders and think for herself? They spend the entire book treating Mary Anne like garbage. Whenever she tries to make things better, she accidentally makes it worse, and her friends get even meaner. In the end, Mary Anne apologizes because the whole thing is her fault, which is so obviously not true, it makes me mad. It also bugs me that everyone makes a big deal over Mary Anne's makeover when they didn't care about her makeover in book 4, Dawn's makeover in book 50, or Stacy's makeover in book 119. Although, to be fair, I don't think that last one counts as a makeover. I think it's more likely they needed an excuse to justify having a new cover model for Stacy. Usually, I don't like the books where the girls are jerks, but this one was good. I especially like Mary Anne's dad and boyfriend in this one. Number 7, Mary Anne Mrs. Logan. Mary Anne says she broke up with her longtime boyfriend Logan after a minor misunderstanding. She desperately wishes they could get back together. That's not at all what happened in the breakup book, but that book was bad, so I'm fine with ignoring it. Mary Anne and Logan are forced to do a group project in school. She alternates between secretly liking him and being embarrassed because she's dealing with her ex. The love drama speeds up with club rival Cookie Mason. She joins the group and flirts with Logan all the time. She uses the project as an excuse to go on dates with him. Cookie is so aggressive, it's kinda funny. Logan eventually realizes the obvious fact that Cookie is a terrible girlfriend, while Mary Anne is fantastic. He asks Mary Anne to take him back, and she happily agrees. I like this book, because I love the love drama. Number 6, Mary Anne and the Secret in the Attic. This is one of those rare books which came out after book 60, but it was so important to Mary Anne as a person that it was mentioned in at least a dozen other books. The town is having a Heritage Day, so Mary Anne wants to research her family. She never knew her mother, which makes this an especially interesting premise. She finds a letter which says she was sent to live with her grandparents after her mom died. Mary Anne panics about the custody situation. She worries her grandparents will take her back after 10 years of pretending they don't exist. I'm pretty sure that's not how custody agreements work. Mary Anne eventually builds up the courage to ask her dad what happened. He gives her an emotional letter that her mother wrote on her deathbed, and she visits her grandmother in the last chapter. That chapter was a letdown because it was told through letters instead of direct narration. And besides, I wanted to see a lot more material about her mom and grandma. Which brings me to number 5, Mary Anne's book. In her autobiography, Mary Anne talks about meeting her grandmother. Sadly, this is the worst part because it spends too much time recapping the mystery book. We don't have enough time for the actual story. where Mary Anne and Grandma struggle to get along because they have communication issues and false expectations of each other. Mary Anne's other stories heavily feature her father, and he's great in this book. Such a good dad. As a stay-at-home dad, I really liked reading this book where the dad is a positive role model, because normally Mary Anne's dad is just the mean, stern guy that everyone hates. He helps her out when she struggles in ballet class, and he's understanding when she doesn't know what to do for the school's Mother's Day party. The last story of the book is how Mary Anne got her rarely seen glasses. Number 4, Mary Anne and the Memory Garden. This is a serious book done well. Amelia Friedman, Mary Anne's friend from English class, is killed in a car crash. Everyone reacts to her death in different ways. Christy cries a lot, and she organizes a group against drunk drivers. Mary Anne is greatly disturbed. She tries reaching out to Amelia's younger brother. Mary Anne eventually sees her therapist, who thinks she has survivor's guilt. As the title indicates, Mary Anne decides to honor Amelia's memory with a community garden. I thought the book was good. It is heavy and depressing the whole way through, but it does a good job of showing teenagers trying to cope with death. It gives several perspectives on grieving and positive examples that shine through the sadness. Number 3, The Secret Life of Mary Anne Spier. Moving on from a serious book to a silly book, Mary Anne spends too much money on Christmas presents. She's forced to get a part-time job in the mall as an elf. It's super embarrassing, and most of the book is funny scenes of Mary Anne trying to hide the truth from her friends and family. I should note, it's not Mary Anne's fault she's in debt. Her dad demands to be paid 5 weeks early. That is a mean surprise to spring on her. Merry Christmas, daughter. Here's a bill. In the subplots, there's a toy drive for needy kids, and Mary Anne helps her co-worker who's a runaway child. I think the book did a great job with the story, alternating among seriousness, humor, and heartwarming holiday moments. Number 2, Mary Anne Saves the Day. Mary Anne's first book was great. Her narration is strong, and her personality is authentic. Mary Anne often gets reduced to the shy girl who cries a lot, but there's a lot more to her personality here. It's interesting to see her struggle with her strict father, who doesn't let her express herself in the ways she wants to. The story is the Babysitters Club gets into a huge, month-long fight. So for the first time in her life, Mary Anne has no friends. It's sad, but she learns to grow as a person when she makes friends with a new girl named Dawn Schaefer. And it really helps the book that Dawn is pretty awesome. There's a babysitting emergency when Jenny Prezioso has a life-threatening fever. Mary Anne and Dawn save Jenny's life. Mary Anne's dad is so impressed with her maturity, he gives her more control over her life. And of course, Mary Anne helps end the big fight with the club members. Number 1, Mary Anne Likes Logan. I mean, who doesn't? Logan is the dreamy, handsome new guy in school. Mary Anne likes him, but she's so shy she can barely talk around him. They're forced to spend time together because he wants to join the Babysitters Club. She sees him at a sitting job and a club meeting. The meeting is super awkward because they talk about bras and stuff. You can't talk about bras when boys are around. It's eventually decided that Logan will be a club member, but he won't attend the meetings. Logan and Mary Anne have a cute romance. Twice he invites her somewhere, and she really starts to open up, but there's an embarrassing moment, and she runs away. Logan's such a great guy, he understands how she feels. He's not scared when she runs away. They end up becoming the best couple of the entire series, if you ignore the one time they broke up. Those are my top 9 Mary Anne books. If you have a book you think should be on this list, feel free to leave a comment letting me know why I'm wrong.